Hello friends and enemies, how are y'all? I have missed you. I've missed replying to comments. I've missed engaging with everyone, and I'm so excited to be back. It kind of just worked out where I was like, you know, it's time. And Peace is already moving the camera. She missed y'all. She missed moving the tripod, that's for sure. I'm back though. I feel pretty good. I've really missed the routine of making videos, to be honest with you. So that's part of why I'm already back, because it's just something for me to do besides sit in my house and be sad. But this is going to be everything I read while I was gone, but I also figured we'd give a little like December content planning update. I'm going to continue this month at 2 videos a week. Sundays and Wednesdays are the goal, give or take. I'm hoping to do a bonkers video for Christmas for y'all / holiday themed. I'm going to see if I can find some like bonkers Hanukkah and Kwanzaa books as well. So it'll be general holiday themed, hopefully. If not, we will do mostly Christmas. It's not what I want to do, but we'll see what I can find. The other issue is going to be finding books that are not 300 plus pages or 250 plus pages, really, because I saw that chicken nugget book and I saw the page count and I said no thank you, that is too long for a bonkers read. So yeah, that's one of the things I'll be working on. I do not think you will be getting an ARC vlog for January, February, and March releases right now. Not because I don't want to do it, but because I just don't think I have the mental capacity to do it. Obviously no December reset, hence us chatting right now before we kick into like what all I read. I think the other thing to note is members, you will have a post later this month for 24 and 2026 challenge where we do random prompt drops for the year. If you're interested in that, that will be available to purchase to join us on Patreon. So if you're interested, that'll be there. If you like don't want to be a member and you just want to buy it outright, you can do that. If you are a member, all that good stuff will be dropping soon. What else? I've got 2026 plans like kind of forming. Wild. I'm very excited. This is the other reason I'm excited to be back. This is my favorite time of year for content. I love end of year wrap up stuff. I love goal setting, even when I don't hit those goals. I love thinking about what I want to do in the next year, even if I don't follow completely through. I love all of that. We're gonna roll with it. You know, a new planner, all the things happening. My favorite. So I'm very, very excited to be back. I'm excited for everything else happening. Like, I have some fun things coming up. I have fun trips planned in the new year. I have like life is moving in a pace that gives me a lot of comfort, and in a pace that like is great because it gives me a lot of comfort because I have been kind of frozen the last few years to an extent. Like, yes, we've done trips and we've done things, but some of the things we wanted to do we could not do because we were always a little nervous about things going on with my dad. So now that that's kind of here, it feels really good. Honestly, it feels really good to be in front of my bookshelves, in front of y'all filming. Like, I'm just pumped. But that's kind of your little run up, little teaser drop about some things coming up this month and this year. If you have things you want me to read for that bonkers vlog, drop them down below, or things you want to see from me this month, drop those down below. Same thing for any wrap up videos, etc. Because yeah, I'm gonna be back for 2 videos a week for the rest of this month, and then we will pick back up on vlogging in the new year and all those good things. I'm excited for it. I may drop a vlog here or there this month, but it's not like a set thing I'm doing all month long, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense, because I just kind of know that there's just a lot going on and I need to be able to kind of pre-film and also take a moment when I need to. No vlogging is key to that. So yeah, let's dive directly into everything I read. Y'all probably want stats. Let me get those real quick. In the month of November, which is basically all of what I was gone, I read 5 books, 2 volumes of manga, 3 volumes of manga, and the book count pages were 1,925. My average rating was a 3.9. I read 3 new to me authors. 4 out of the 5 books I read were audios. Age demographic was all adults, not a surprise. That's kind of it. There's not a lot there because, again, I was reading, but I wasn't reading. I was reading a lot of things I could read quickly. And or fall asleep to. I was doing a lot of falling asleep to audiobooks as well. So it had to be stories I could follow. Yeah, I read 3 volumes for 616 pages. We'll talk about those 3 volumes in a minute. All of them were physicals. I brought a lot of manga with me and I just did not really touch it while I was there. There was a lot going on though. So it makes sense. So yeah, let's talk about all the books I read. Now, you're going to notice a trend, and the trend is what it is, okay? I'm not ashamed of this. It just is what it is. I will also say, like, I am just excited to keep reading the things that I was kind of putting off because I didn't want to read a ton of things I would absolutely adore during this time. So first things first, I read Fated to the Warrior Wolf. This is by April L. Moon. This is book 3 or 4, I don't remember, in her series. I remember enjoying this one. I didn't like it. I liked the accidental pregnancy element of this because, like, technically they weren't supposed to be able to get pregnant, and then, like, discovering that they were fated mates, like, that was really fun and enjoyable. There's a lot of tension between these two, and I really, for the most part with this series, one of the things I'm really enjoying every book is the way we're moving the world plot forward, and that has been very, very fun for me. I think it's a really interesting world plot because basically the Omegas are being hunted down. The pack of wolves are trying to fight the Omega Defense League, basically, who comes and kills the Omegas when they're born. And it's each of the members of this pack finding their mate, and, like, the leaders of the pack finding their mate. So that's been really fun. It's really enjoyable. I like the overarching plot because we're getting a good bit of it in each book while also getting a good bit of the romances. I like this one more than the last one, the Feral Wolf one. Yeah, this was book 3. Because this one I felt like had more focus on the couple than book 2 did. Overall, this was a really, really fun time. I enjoyed it. I have already started Fated to the Billionaire Wolf, which is the most recent. Like, the next audio doesn't come out until January, so I will be current for that release. Then I read Not Your Damn Omega. This is by Devin Sinclair, I believe. This is my first book by this author. I thought this was aggressively, like, kind of okay. This was like, yeah, this is the problem though. I read a lot of omegaverse and wolf shifters. I don't know. I think paranormal in that is, like, I think the reasoning there is probably heavily to the fact that, like, these feel very removed from the real world. And I think that's what I personally want to read right now. And I'm also not necessarily stumbling into a lot of dementia or Alzheimer's situations in books or death of a parent with these. At least not in the same way. So this one was fine. The other thing with this one is that she is, like, the daughter of a dead politician, beloved person, and her sister's, like, a pop star situation. Anyways, she ends up figuring out that she's actually mated to this, like, tattoo artist pack. This one was fine. It does have a dead parent. I was far enough in that I was just like, well, I gotta see what happens. My dad also had not passed yet when I was reading this, I think. I'm not sure. Or he passed while I was reading this. I'm not positive on timing, but it was, like, okay, because, like, we were semi-removed from it. Anyways, this one did have heavy grief themes. I noticed quite a few of these had, like, some surprise grief themes. But yeah, like, a lot of paparazzi, a lot of, like, melodrama stuff with this one. It's just not my favorite. I still would like to try Just Drive by this author, which is their F1 omegaverse. So I'm curious about that. But if I don't love that, this author is probably a no-go for me. Let me know if anyone else has read this and what your thoughts and opinions were. But yeah, I listened to this through Audible Plus catalog, and I just felt like it was aggressively okay as a read, which means I don't remember a ton of it and I don't really care about it. And then I read The Bookish Girl's Guide to Mating a Werewolf last month. I talked to y'all for my October reads. I was kind of marathoning a lot of Lola Glass. They're short, quirky, and formulaic in a way that I find pretty comforting to read during a stressful time. So I did read The Bookish Girl's Guide to Mating a Werewolf. This one was really funny. She finished a paranormal book and went over to this town that was rumored to have werewolves. And lo and behold, while he is holding a cucumber, they make eye contact and he's like, that's my fated mate. And he's been, like, with a group of guys who, like, some have been rejected and different things and are all pretty hesitant fated mate people, like wolves. So she then finds out werewolves are real. And she's like, whoa, hold up. But that was honestly freaking hilarious. I loved it. This was a solid good time. I think I gave it, like, a 4. I just had fun reading it. It was very silly. It's over the top. He, like, follows her around in wolf form at one point because they can't be separated now that they're fated, and it's just a very silly good time. It felt very cliche in a lot of ways, so do keep that in mind if you're not in the mood for something like that. You know, she's, like, complaining about the cellulite on her body, and he's like, I find it beautiful. I don't really know what you're talking about. I don't notice this about you or on you, etc. Those elements are there, so that may not be for everyone, and some may find that annoying. I personally found it comforting, and the cliche is comforting at the time of reading. Then I read A Pack for Autumn by Amelia Emerson. This is technically book 1 in the Cozyverse by these two authors. A Pack for Spring comes out this spring, and A Pack for Summer comes out this summer, so it'll be a seasonal quartet. So A Pack for Autumn for me was pretty good. It is also grief heavy. Lost both her parents, so that's a fun time. Her dad was an alpha and her mom was a beta. She is, of course, an omega who's come to take care of this lighthouse. Turns out the pack in town that is, like, kind of interested in her, of course, were related to, like, one of the boys is related to the former lighthouse keepers. It was his grandparents. So we're following that journey and then realizing, like, they screwed her over because they emptied the lighthouse. So she moved in, there was no furniture. She was told it was furnished. She's kind of running from her anxiety and other things in life a little bit. So that may be annoying to some readers. I do want to caveat that because she is definitely a, like, keep to myself type, and I don't know why anyone would want to associate with me. And it's a lot of her working through that, especially because of grief. Like, her parents were her people, then she's really struggled to navigate after that, like, the world. So a lot of it is her figuring that out. I liked it. I thought it was really enjoyable, but I also didn't love it as much as I liked A Pack for Winter. I think A Pack for Winter was a lot better. So I'll be curious what I think of the other one by this author. We'll see what where we fall. But for the most part, this one was at least fun and a good time. The grief themes weren't too terrible for me to read personally, so bear that in mind, though, if you are someone who doesn't want to read a ton about grief, because it definitely plays heavily into her reactions to people and how they treat her. Last but not least, I read Baby and the Late Night Howlers in preparation to read Lola and the Millionaires, Part 1 and 2. That's coming. This is by Catherine Moon. I feel like this series, Baby, or Lola at least, are kind of gold star omegaverse to a lot of people. This is part of her Sweet Omegaverse series. I'm very, very excited to read Lola. We meet Lola in this book. Baby is one of those characters that I was surprised by. She was very different than the Omegas in a good way. Like, it was enjoyable to read because there was a lot of things when she revealed that they were like, what do you mean you're fine with, like, the women in the club? Because it ends up that she's in a motorcycle club pack. The plot, semi-predictable for some of the elements towards the end and what our, like, what the conflict was going to be to an extent. But overall, I really enjoyed this. I thought the writing was really fun and engaging. I'm hoping to pick up Lola this month in December and finish and read that because it has been on my TBR for ages. So I feel like me reading Lola and the Millionaires finally is perfection and needs to happen. So I'm going to do that. I am going to do that. I think overall this is like a solid 4.5 Omegaverse. I think it's one that I can easily rec to people. I found it very enjoyable and I enjoyed the little bit of Lola we got in this one. So I'm hesitantly very, very excited. Next, the 2 things of manga I read, well, 3 volumes technically. So I read Winter Wolf by Ruby Shea. I really enjoyed this a lot. This has a heroine who's basically on the run because of a revolution happening and her head being on the chopping block, literally. And she goes up to this guy's house, his mansion, or she shows up at this mansion and ends up there to be protected by this bodyguard, and it's their romance and a mystery element that I'm really not sure how that's going to unfold, but I'm very, very, very intrigued. It has a nice blend. It feels very different than other manhwas I've read lately, so that is also working for me. And that's been very, very nice. I'm really, really excited for volume 2. If you really want to read it, it is available to read online. I'm just waiting for physicals because that works for me personally better. Then I read 2 volumes of this. I read Sweet Heat Before Falling in Love, The CEO and His Fated Omega, volumes 1 and 2. This is by Yoon, and I really, really enjoyed it. I thought this was a fun read overall. I had a good time with it. And part of that good time is that I think this was a very silly setup. Personally. So our heroine is an Omega pretending to be a beta at work, and the office she works at has opened a Omega retreat and Alpha retreat facility where you can go and like have a time with each other safely via blindfolds and all these things. And then you can go your own way, right? Well, who does she go with but the CEO in a wig and half a mask and all that good stuff. I really, really, really enjoyed this. I think it was fun. It was silly. Like a 4 stars so far. I will pick up volume 3. I'm very curious to see where that goes. It's very, very silly. It's very funny. Like, to me, how this unfolds overall as a story. I have enjoyed it, though. It's been a good time. I am in a Omegaverse moment right now. I cannot help it. It is what it is. This is what's drawing my attention and catching my eye, so this is what I'm reading. But yeah, I really enjoyed this overall. I think this was a silly, fun Omegaverse addition to manga in general. And yeah, if it wraps up well, it's going to be a recommend. If it doesn't, I probably won't recommend it and it'll leave my shelves, but we shall see. That is everything I read while I was away, which Honestly, I'm not mad at 7 things. I have had a wildly up and down reading year, as to be expected with everything going on, and I think the fact that I even read anything in November is impressive, and the fact that I read some like long books, also impressive. So here's hoping for a good December. I'm hoping I read enough to do a mid-month for y'all. We'll see. We shall see. I don't know yet. I do not know yet. I will know closer to, but if I do, there'll be a mid-month. If not, you'll get a wrap-up. So yeah, that's kind of everything that I read while I was away. I would love to know if you read anything that you really just like loved since I last uploaded, or if you have an omegaverse rec for me, drop that down below because I am always on the hunt. And if you don't want to do any of that, you can leave me what emoji? A lighthouse? A motorcycle? I don't know. Pick one. You can leave one of those emojis down below. I'll have links to all of these books for you down there, links to my friend anywhere on the internet that I am, and I will catch y'all in just a few days in my next video. Bye!
Already packing, come with me. I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be. Life with no distractions, we'll get away. This is what we waited for.